Roll call.
First, yeah, roll call. Yeah, you got to do the pledge first.
You want to lead us in a prayer?
Yeah, I want to read something tonight. It's a picture of Jesus with the crown of thorns. It hits me harder at Christmas knowing he's always near. He knew the manger would lead to the cross. He knew the birth would lead to the sacrifice. He knew love would lead him into pain. Still he came. Not in a palace, but in a stable. Not with an army, but with a mother who had nowhere else to go. From his first breath, he stepped towards us. Towards the broken, the guilty, the weary. Towards the people he knew would need him most. So when I look at his face in the picture, the blood, the surrender, the mercy, I remember Christmas wasn't about a baby arriving. It was about a Savior choosing us before we ever chose him. While the world mocked him, he prayed for them. While they turned away, he stayed. For the ones grieving this holiday, for the ones missing someone tonight, for the hearts that feel too damaged for joy, by his wounds we are healed. If the season feels heavy, just look at him, the greatest gift ever given. Didn't come wrapped in ribbons, he came in love. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Keeping you on your toes. Now we'll do a roll call. Randy Rance. Bo Garden. Melinda Ballard. Here. Baron Glass. Maria Bass. Here. Gary Castles. Here. Johnny Fallon. Here.
Okay, executive committee report, John?
All right, sales taxes up again. This month of 41,235, and for the year is 132,837. So, really good.
Head up. I'm assuming everybody reviewed the minutes. We need to get a motion to approve the minutes for the last month.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I second.
All in favor? All right, now we need to recognize Terry Gerard as the December Employee of the Month.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having me again tonight. Ms. Terry, if you'll join me here, I want to tell you how this normally works. Somebody gets nominated from the school, and usually one or two people will send in something saying something about the person that's been nominated. 5 different people sent something in this time. Diligent, hardworking, goes above and beyond 3 times was on what they wrote about Miss Terry. And then I want to read you one thing here. Terry goes above and beyond to do everything she can to make sure that each day runs smoothly and every parent or child that walks through the door feels safe and welcome. She performs her regular duties with ease, but with licensing and Head Start regulations, there are so many more things that she does to ensure that we are in compliance. She keeps up with background checks, licensing binders, physicals, calls all the families of absent children, and has even been known to fill in on the bus. She also makes snack runs once or twice a month so that the children have snacks every day that meet nutritional guidelines. She is 1 in a million, and there is no way that the school could run without her. Please help me congratulate Mr. Terry Gerard, Employee of the Month.
All right, now we have our 4-H update. Jana, if you would.
Alright, so I gave all of you a review of events. One thing that needs to be corrected is our enrollment is now up to 200. And then you'll see our club meetings, we're doing character lessons this year. For Clover Buds, we're doing ag literacy. And we've also so far registered Grayson and Columbia students to participate in the Farm Bureau Ag Literacy Program. And that'll be a program where our junior leaders will go into the school and they'll read the books to the teachers, and the teachers will each get a book and a resource guide for that. And then our junior leaders there at the bottom, this is last year's 32 Christmas boxes. This year we did 27, and we did that last week, and then delivered those to our local school children that would need those. And I have two of our 4-H'ers, two presidents from our clubs, and so they're gonna come up. And Miss Caroline Stamper is president of Union Central Elementary 5th grade club, and Reagan Mayer from the high school club, and so they're gonna just tell you a little something about what they enjoy about 4-H.
I like being involved in the art competition. 4-H. That's about it. Yeah, I'll fly over.
One thing I really enjoy about 4-H would be getting to meet the new people that are in like the different clubs and stuff, which I especially get to do with junior leaders, which Virginia just told you, we pack the boxes and stuff. It's just nice to get to help the community in different ways that, other kids who aren't in 4-H don't really get to help out with, which is it would be exciting for more people to join in, get to help the community in more ways and find more ways to really get out there. I like getting to interact with my peers and like meeting new people. It just makes everything really exciting, I guess.
Thank y'all.
You want to tell us about this open house?
Want to do anything?
Oh, our open house, this is in place of our advisory meeting. This is a new format. So we would love for any of y'all to come on January 12th from 10 to 12 at our office.
Well, we appreciate everything y'all do at school. 4-H is a wonderful organization.
We thank y'all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, accountability update.
You got that? I did.
We put it in your folder to also, where you have a copy of accountability. The scores finally came out in November. So we put it all together on the chart, kind of showing what our schools did. 2025 is first, 24 is in yellow, so you can see the change. The high school stayed an A and grew by 0.7 of a point. The junior high also grew 4.7 points. The junior high grew for the 6th straight year, and their assessment index grew by 4.7 points, which is just straight testing, and their progress index grew by 5.4 points. That's the growth, students that met their growth target. The high school grew in assessment and progress also, so they did show some growth there. Columbia and Grayson, you're going to see they're the same. Grayson basically has to take Columbia's scores because it's their feeder school. At this point, Grayson has no testing at their school that counts for accountability. So they have to take Columbia's scores. And we did see a little bit of a dip there. And then Union Central grew by 2.7. So Union Central stayed a C, grew. They also showed growth in their assessment index and their progress index. And they're in, we have Union Central, Grayson, and Columbia all have labels. They're either urgent intervention required or comprehensive intervention required. But those labels in subgroups allow us to get money for them. So we're able to take that money and put it back into programs to keep growing. So really with all of our schools, which Columbia only had one test, they just have the 3rd grade test, so the progress is not really there. But in the other schools where they actually get progress, all the schools show growth in progress, which means their students are meeting the growth target. Okay. And the district was a B, and that's our 10th consecutive year to be a B, and we grew by over 2 points. This is just, we've done this for several years, comparison with other districts in our region. So these are just the other school districts that are in our region. You can see we're in blue. Anything that's pink is where districts were ahead of us. So you see in a lot of cases that we're ahead of a lot of districts in a lot of the areas. especially with the high school, with our grad index and our cohort index and strength of diploma, that type of stuff, we really work hard with that, and so, we stay pretty high with those. All right, so we all know, we've talked about this, I presented this to you before, accountability is changing. So this system that we got scores on for 25 is going away. We'll have a totally new accountability system for 26 when our kids take the test. So they basically took our scores from 25 and put it in the new accountability model. And so based on the new accountability model with our 2025 test scores and growth and everything, this would be what our scores would have been had we been under the new model. And so you see that in this case, we're all C's. You notice that the number system's a little different. Normally we were going out of 150 points. Now the scoring is going to be a little different. On the last page, you have the cut scores that were used. You have to look at, the first column is schools without a graduating class. That's going to be your elementary and your junior high. Schools with a graduating class, that's going to be the high school. And then you have something for the district. So each one of them has a different cut score. You can see, like the high school was a 36.9. To be a B, they would have to be at a 45.3. The junior high was a 40. They would have to be at a 44.3. So we're not too far off from a B. And with this new, and they did include, you're going to see, like with Columbia and Grayson, their C's, they included the literacy scores. So we've been doing the literacy screener. It's going to count starting this year with 26 scores, but they had end of year scores. You know, we've been doing it for 2 or 3 years to kind of practice to work up to it. They did use those scores in the simulator. So you can kind of see that brings them up with the literacy and the growth from the literacy.
And that's K1 and 2.
K1 and 2, right. K1 and 2. So Grayson now will have their own scores with K and 1, but they'll still pull Columbia's third grade league into their accountability scores.
And then Columbia will also
Take Union Central's progress.
but they'll also get to count their second grade DIBEL scores.
Yeah,
along
Columbia
with
will have their
third
second grade,
league.
right. So Columbia will add second grade into their scores.
And with the new accountability, and you do a much better job of explaining it than I do because you're in there, but it's like a third. So a third of it is the test and whether you're mastery.
Right. So basically, it's straight percentages. What is the percentage of students that scored mastery or above? What is the percentage of students that grew? And then what of the lowest 25% of your students in your school did they grow? And so you're basically taking straight percentages. So you have to look at that. So that for elementary and junior high, that's the 3 pieces. The testing, mastery or above, did the students grow, and then did your lowest 25 students grow? And so for those kids, your lowest 25, you'll get growth both in regular English and math, and then for them being the lowest 25 English and math. So if they really grow, you're gonna double it. And then the high school, you're taking out strength of diploma, grad cohort, though DCAI, the junior high, all those extra pieces we had in the old accountability, you're taking that out. And now we have and we talked about this before, we have the Thrive. It's gonna be, did they meet a national standard test, which is ACT or WorkEase? Did they earn a credential that was in a bundle or an advanced, and did they get an internship? So it's gonna be a little different how that works.
Moving
Okay, you
on.
see the high school drop from an A to a C based on that.
That similar.
That simulated, yeah. They took the 25 scores and put it into the new accountability model.
But moving forward, this will be
This will be
the
ours.
model that we use. So like next year, when you see these scores, it's not gonna be that the high school dropped from an A to a C.
It's just gonna be a new
It's going to
model.
be a C to a whatever they are then, or, or any school there, so.
Well, is that definitely a given? I mean, is that just a given?
What?
It's gonna drop?
The high school,
Yeah, is that a given?
But they're grading on that veil.
Because it's different, because the high school had so many other pieces, like our assessment index has always been in the 40s, mid to upper 40s, which is not that great, but we had all of that extra. We had interest and opportunities, we had the cohort grad rate, we had strength of diploma, we had ACT index, we had all the rest of that is what kept us up there.
So there's pluses and minuses, because it's obviously not good for the high school, but it is really,
good for the elementary
really
school.
good for our lower, because they're now finally getting to count all the work that we're doing with literacy. And it is really good for the progress, because we're really good at growing kids.
Yeah.
We're really good at making progress with our kids. And so, I was encouraged when I saw the simulations, because I was expecting all Ds.
Yeah, the simulation the year before, they had went ahead and done the simulation the year before was 24 sport and were all days. So we were happy with this, because that meant we're heading in the right direction based on the new accountability.
So is this accountability gonna be better than the older model?
I think it will be once we figure it all out. I mean, the elementaries, the junior high, they've got it. They're going their progress. With the elementaries, we have literacy this year, numeracy will be added in a couple of years. They're working really hard on that. The high school's got to figure out how to get that thrive in there. How to
Especially when
get
it comes to
kids to
internships.
the
Yeah.
internships and how to get kids to a 20 on the ACT and a gold on work keys and that kind of stuff.
Because when you say internships, you're talking about somebody going to work at John
Yes.
Deere or somewhere
Yes.
like that. We don't have those companies here.
We did start this year. We can count the cafe kids. We have 13 kids at the cafe, and then we have another 6 that Ms. Meadows, she's working with them, and they're at various places in the district. So the internship part does not start counting for probably another 5 years. We get bonus points. So if we have 25% of the students that fit in the career pathway get an internship, then we get 5 bonus points. And then
For
it'll
each
go.
student, or
No,
just
as a
whole?
group, yeah, as a whole.
I
So
wish. I
next
like your
year,
idea.
I
so
can only
this,
try.
yeah, so this year it's 25%, next year will be 30%, the next year will be 35 until we get to 60, and when we get to 60%, it will be a part of accountability, it'll no longer be bonus. So we have to be going and have as many, and have internships by that point.
So that's
all
like
those
if somebody
kids.
has a welding business or something like that, they could get one of the kids that's learning how to weld and they could work for them.
Yeah, so we have kids at Johnny's, Brookshire's, Duke's, the tire place, Patton's,
Yeah.
so various places. So we're just gonna keep adding, the school, we have one at the pre-K, we have one doing CDA at the pre-K, so she's going over there, so just various places. We're looking at, we gotta add more, but,
Yeah.
yeah. It gives us
That's
some
good.
time to work up to it, they're giving us time to work up to it. Okay, any questions? All right.
Next, we need to approve the actions of the Effort Board, which reviewed and accepted the results of the November 15th election of the proposed sales tax. For who's
It's just an approval that the EFID board did meet at 5 p.m. and they approved or canvassed the election results. And, I mean, it's kind of a dull meeting, but that's all that was done. So, I think
long story short, it failed.
yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the fact that y'all met and discussed the results.
Second.
All in favor? All right, next on the agenda is to consider the superintendent's recommendation for the termination of an employee. Considering is our employee here, if they're not here,
No, sir, I understand they won't be. The procedure is that under your policy, since it's a non-certified employee, it is a board vote issue. So the board would make a motion and second whether to accept or reject the superintendent's recommendation, and it's that simple.
I'll make a motion to accept her recommendation.
do I have a second on that?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need a roll call on
I'll
that?
do one. Miss Ballard,
Yes, I agree to accept her.
Miss Bass,
Yes.
Miss Fallon,
Yes.
Mr. Castles.
Yes.
And, Mr. Rents,
Yes.
Mr. Barton, absent. Mr. Glass.
All right.
All right. Financial update?
Well, we made it to November.
From the list,
Someone-
barely.
November in account. Anyway, you got 5 pages in front of you. First page is on general fund. It's kind of rolling fairly, pretty much on target. Revenues are down $286,000, which is all MFP, and that was in the budget. Our expenditures are down $423,000, so that's exciting. And that's gonna grow every month a little bit because, we had, a pocket full of personnel people that moved down to general fund. So every month we get a little bit better on that. So overall, it's kind of doing okay. I always feel better about August as far as general fund. Sales tax is doing great. It's up $141,000 for the year. And, all of that is pretty much revenue. Revenue is up $132,000. Expenditures are down $9,000. So that's $141,000 decrease. Lunch fund is doing actually pretty good as well. $27,000 increase for the year. I'm a little worried about supplies that might not have come in for food services. We're just depending on vendors when they mail a bill, and that line item is down a little bit from where I thought it would be. So the $27,000 favorable variance might be kind of a ghost there. They'll probably disappear. Maintenance fund, it's down $153,000 compared to this time last year. We talked about that last time. We just had a boatload of repairs that had to be made. And that's about it on that. And then the 5th page is the balance sheet, and it tells you how much cash we got, which is $5.3 million, about another $2.5 million in receivables sitting across the road at the sheriff's office, and liabilities for about $500,000.
Any word on that?
Not a bit. So it's still in legal, in John's world over here. But it's moving through the court system as slowly as one would think.
And that's for 2021 that we're looking at?
I think it has it on that page, reference. Yeah, if you look on the far right, in the yellow section, court case 1, fiscal year 20, 21, and 22, and then court case 2 is right below that, 23, 24, 25, and I haven't seen this year, but I assume we'll add 26. So,
It's a lot of money.
yep, sure
$1
is.
billion.
Yes, that's all I have.
Are we gonna ever get that?
Talking about.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, surely.
We may not see it, but
Might not.
We can't spend the receivable, so cash is king.
That it?
That's it.
District leaders update.
Angela, you want to share?
Yeah, I can. I put attendance in your folder, if everyone kind of can you put in there.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, and I just put, if you look at it's probably the second page, just updated for, starting from August to now, for attendance in every school. So you can kind of see, of course, in December, it's just, I did it as of yesterday, so I just kind of wrote it in there. But the schools are working really hard, the principals, they're doing all kinds of incentives, the secretaries, everybody's working really hard on attendance. So you can see that it's really going up and it's really going well. But I know this month, especially Head Start, you were telling me they have to, just about half school or more is out.
They had 27 kids there today and 3 staff.
They're
Instructional
all
staff.
sick.
Yeah, they've had COVID, type A flu, type B flu, strep.
Strep.
Yeah, it was everything.
It's all over. So it's gonna hit. Yeah, this month's not gonna be too great, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But everybody is really working hard. We'd like
Not
to
sending out very many
celebrate.
text messages.
But- And then one thing I know Nikki wanted to point out, if you look at the first page, it's talking about the high school. She has Charlie as far as failures, how we were on the last couple of years. And so you can see in the green that actually, as far as attendance failures, as of right now, you can see how the graph has went down. So we have less failures because of attendance. So the high school, as you can tell, it's working everything that they're doing there, which is great. So that's something to really celebrate. So the word is really getting out that everybody's really working hard on everything, and I think everything's kind of working.
Well, just the work that these attendance teams are doing, I mean, they are really, as soon as kids are absent, they are calling, they are checking. At the high school, they've got, Mr. Amos, they've got Marcia, then they've got Coach Dalio and Coach Head. They're calling and they're meeting with kids, and they're encouraging them to come to school, finding out why you're not coming to school. Make sure you get your excuses in. But when Mr. Amos sent me that graph, and I looked and I said, you have nearly cut in half the number of attendance failures for this first semester. That is something to be celebrated. And then that second part is by grade level. And so that blue is the freshman, and the red is the sophomore, and then the yellow juniors, and the green seniors, and every one of them, if you just look at that visual, that was very impressive. So I was just like, let's celebrate. There's so much negativity sometimes out there, but the work that they are doing, and that's gonna pay off. When kids are in school, they're learning, and our teachers are able to teach them when kids are in school. And so I just appreciate the efforts that they're doing, because those are not always comfortable conversations or comfortable phone calls home. So, thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, Monica, what you got?
We have our performance profiles as well. So for a district, we are higher proficient. And like Christy referred to the Northeast area, we're third in the Northeast. There's only 2 districts that were higher than we were, and that was Franklin and East Carroll. It is the 5.96 is our score this year, and they're up 0.14 from last year. It was 5.82. The pre-K scored an excellent 6.25. They had a growth of 0.09. Kelly had a slight dip. They're 5.89. They declined 0.07. And then Lolly's grew. They're 5.44, growth of 0.59. So next year we'll also have Imagination Station in our score, so that should help. And I'm not sure when Cassie's planning on opening it, possibly Blooms, but I know Imagination Station's already approved. We'll be doing their observations in the springs. It was after October 1, so they don't come in until the spring, but they'll be on there as well. We did get our Imagination Library. That's the logo. It's the national thing. It just adds our parish, but there are 164 enrolled right now. 137 actually got in time to get their first book mailed. So they'll get that. The first book to all of them will be The Little Engine That Could. So after that, it'll pick up with their age band. So we have 2 years that we're covered through Blue Cross Blue Shield to cover it. So I did get the invoice the other day. When it said invoice, of course, you kind of, but it's zero. But we would have paid for those 134 kids. It would be $384. So the cost of the books, it's $1.90 a piece for a hardback book. So that's a huge savings to what it could be. But so we'll have 2 years to work on the fundraising portion to have people help sponsor that to get it built up. But so that's about what we would, I think there's, they project that from birth to 5, there's like 384 kids, so we're about halfway. So that would be about $700, probably $750 a month that it would cost once we are out of this period where it's helping us. So all the districts around us have not had a problem with the fundraising portion, so we'll just see where it takes us, but excited to have them getting those books. So I'm anxious for them to get in the mail. We're gonna have them, when you get it, to post it and share with us, so it should be soon. So I think January 3rd is when it mails.
So the fundraising, where are you gonna have to go to get
So
that?
they will share things out. So in some districts, so like we took it on as a school district. The last district that had got it close to us, that they, Dakota Henry is the state chairperson. So Franklin Franklin State Bank, just when they heard about it, they stepped up and they wanted to fully do it. So again, they're probably not having to pay right now because of Blue Cross Blue Shield wanted the rural districts that weren't in it already to try to help them. So like Franklin State Bank, I know does theirs. They do offer that people, so just say a grandparent in the parish or whatever said, hey, I want to sponsor a couple of kids, they can go in and do that and it just goes into the account. So, when that invoice comes every month, that bank pays it. So we're not asking any particular, like, one person to take it on like they did, but a lot, when we had to be approved, as a nonprofit, and since we're not a 501c3 nonprofit, there were a lot of different documents we had to supply them. There were only 2 other school districts that were doing theirs. Most of the others were community agencies that were nonprofits. So they're handling the fundraising side of that. But Union, Parish, and then Richland, I've talked to both of them within the past week, helping them get their documents together for them to do it as well. So we can even use some of our Ready Start money to help pick up if we're short on that. So if it's $1.90 a month, or per book, so just say $2 a book, that would be $25 a year would sponsor a child. So that's kind of the way we would put that out there is, for $25 a year, you could sponsor one child to receive books. So, no other communities had a problem reaching those. So, we wanted to get it kicked off first, and after that, we'll go, because like right now, we don't have to pay this bill yet. It's not coming to us, but if right now someone came and said, hey, I want to donate $1,000 to that, it never touches our hands. It goes in through the thing, it goes into our account. So it'll be sitting there waiting.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh, the reindeer games. Miss Robin McKay headed up our reindeer games again for the 3rd year.
I think so.
3rd or 4th year, but it was, just seeing those kids, it's so, good to see them, having fun, enjoying it in a non-stressful environment. There's not too much to overstimulate, but plenty of things for them to do and enjoy and have fun, and, I think they did. I think they had a really good day.
And the way our community steps up and just helps out with that day is amazing.
Yeah, she does a great job. And she's very quiet about it. Somebody had asked, they said, she hasn't reached out for anybody to help. And that's what I told Robin. She's like, I'm not gonna ask anybody if they wanna help. I'll let them help. So she's very, very quiet and, not a real showy, she just does it. Just what she wants to do it for the kids, so she does. She did a great job.
Christie, you have anything else?
No, I don't really have anything else. I'll let Kim and Maria talk about screeners.
All right, Katie.
Yeah, so at the high school, our speech squad has started competing and they had several placed this last week. One thing that Ms. Garcia wanted me to let everybody know is one of the big pushes, as you saw on the score sheet, is ACT and work keys. And so we are implementing a lot of strategies into classrooms with bell ringers and exit tickets that look very ACT-like or work keys-like to increase our scores. And so she visited with several students this past week, and they're saying that they are really getting it, something out of it. So it's benefiting them. So hopefully it'll show up on the scores. Basketball is kicked off at the high school, and so come watch a game. The junior high has their last game tonight, so they're finishing up. The robotics at the junior high is competing this weekend, and tomorrow they are doing a mock judging. So if you would like to go and see and be a mock judge tomorrow to see them practice for their competition, you can call Miss Watts in the morning and she can tell you a time to come, because I know Miss McCann's already signed up to attend.
Going at 12 o'clock.
Yep, so there's gonna be several, like a simulation so that they can, adjust to the judging. And then, kind of our tradition that we've been doing there for a few years is the Christmas Hall tour. And so far, the Haven has come again, and the preschool and Head Start, and Grayson is coming next week, and they'll wrap that up. So, that's all I have.
Brian?
I don't have a ton. We did get the sped cameras put in, moved, so, other than that, it's kind of maintenance.
All right, Maria, are you next?
We did the Dibbles testing. We did K to 3, so we've completed those, but we just have makeup, so we're pushing it. We're getting it done.
And this was that 2-week, like what, 3-week window, 2-week window?
Window.
Yeah, so we're doing numeracy testing too. So at Columbia, we did dibbles, then numeracy, then dibbles, numeracy. At Grayson, we're doing 1 day dibbles, 1 day numeracy, 1 day dibbles, 1 day. So it's something every day. We have 1 day to get every kid done from that grade because of the window. We move on to the junior high next week. Miss Gilpatrick had her SPS transparency meeting this past week, and Belinda has hers Tuesday evening, so if y'all want to listen in on that. It's very good information, and the videos are going to be posted to their school Facebook pages, and then eventually I think Mike said he was going to post it to the district page.
He may have already.
I don't know if he did it or not.
Okay. He said he was gonna wait to the district till Belinda had her.
I think he was
so it
waiting
wasn't
to make sure
confusing.
it wasn't confusing, that it was like the live one versus the
Yeah.
one from before.
Okay,
Yeah.
good deal.
I think he was gonna wait till she finished hers.
Okay, sounds good.
But other than that, the countdown's on to Christmas break.
How many days?
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
Okay, real good. Don't add a day.
You're still working, aren't you?
All right, Rebecca, wrap up.
So, today, I've known for about a year now, we're in sort of the dead center of this Disability Innovation Fund grant that we received. So we're at the point where federal monitoring is really ramping up. So I've spent a couple of days in the past couple of months talking to folks from the federal level that have been interviewing me about what we're doing. I've had to answer a lot of questionnaires, that sort of stuff. But today we had an in-person visit from a representative from the Department of Education who's over transitions, and then there were SPED leaders and other personnel from other school districts in the state that came. And they came to the high school and they went in some of our classrooms, and they went and ate at the cafe. They sat in on a teacher panel and a student panel, and they really blew everybody away. The kids especially. At the end, this was not rehearsed, but I said, is there anything that any of you guys would really, kind of want to say to our visitors here? And one of our students, who is a student with a cognitive disability who takes an alternate assessment, he said, yeah, I would. He said, I just want to thank everybody in the room for giving kids like me in Caldwell Parish a chance to be involved in a program where, even though I may be slower to earn a job than other kids, I still have a chance to do it. And I was like, yeah. I actually looked at one of the grant people and I said, did you write that down? I was like, I want whoever's at the federal level that's going to read this. But it was very sweet. And at some point, one of the folks from the state level had said, you're really too modest, like you should be presenting all this. And I said, no. I said, when you hear my team talk, you will see that I am not the brains behind this operation. I said, when you hear how sincere our adults are, how much talent our teachers have, how much true care they have for the kids that we're working with, you're going to understand why I don't want to be the one talking at all. And as some of our teachers were talking and everything, I looked at everybody and I was like, see. I know you want a Tori and Jacob or a Mickey and Odie or a Michelle Lindsay, but you can't have mine. So you're going to have to look elsewhere for that. So they really made our district, very, very proud today. They really, our kids and our teachers really showed. And I feel like I say this every December, but our school leaders really have a tough job this time of year. it's the most wonderful time of the year unless you're a kid with thinking and learning differences sometimes. But these two ladies have both had a pretty rough day. And I was tied up with folks from the department, so they didn't have access to me. So I appreciate, as always, everybody else jumping in. But Christmas is a whole lot of fun. But for some of our kids, they really struggle with the whole lot of fun stuff. And these ladies and their staff do an incredible job dealing with some of the things that you wouldn't expect them to have to deal with on a regular basis, and we're very grateful for them and the work that they do and their staff can do. So.
Now let's dry our eyes.
Superintendent report.
All right. So, band concert next Thursday at 6:30 for our junior high and high school band concert at the high school auditorium. Next Friday is that half-day dismissal at 12 o'clock, and we'll be out for 2 glorious weeks. For our Christmas break, teachers and staff will return on that Tuesday, January 6th, for professional development, and then our students will return on that Wednesday for the spring semester. So, in light of that, Kaylee and I were looking at the calendar, and January 1st falls on a Thursday, which means that the second Thursday is the week we come back. So that'd be January 8th, which means that we only have like 2 days of work, 3 days of work before. So we can keep the meeting as the second Thursday, or if y'all would like to vote, we could move it to the 15th.
What would be best for y'all? 15?
6?
Thursday, whatever.
15, yes, 15. I don't want to meet on a Friday. Yeah. The 15th, otherwise we're gonna be working over the holiday to get ready for a meeting. And there's not a whole lot that's gonna happen in between. What we do need to do is consider there are a lot of policies that came down from forethought that had to be adjusted, including the policy that needs to be adjusted based on some things we did today. But I think DCFS, that law that came in affected a bunch of policies, and so we need to have a policy meeting too, preferably before that January meeting, so that would give us some time to do that as well.
I'll make a motion, we change it to the 15th.
Like I said, add it to the agenda, it's on the agenda. So
Oh,
I'll need a
okay.
motion and a second to add it to the agenda unanimously, okay? And then y'all can vote.
Okay.
So, need a motion
Need a motion to add to the agenda.
to
Okay,
add to
got a
the
motion.
agenda.
Yes,
The agenda item to change the board meeting from the 8th
To
to
the
the
15th.
15th.
I'll second that.
And Mr.
All in
Castle's gonna
favor?
second it.
Aye.
All in favor is aye.
Aye. Yes.
Okay,
Now.
so now you guys,
So Brandy looks
Go
at me like
ahead.
this. So now I'll make the motion that we go to the 15th instead of the 8th for the meeting.
I'll second that too.
All in favor?
Aye.
So January 15th is the next board meeting. That brings, anything else?
So we will need to schedule a policy meeting before that time, and so we will get with the policy.
Who is that?
Members.
it's Baron, it's,
And John?
you.
I don't.
It's
Am I on it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Maria.
It's not me.
I believe you took Mr. Martin's place.
Okay.
I'd have to look at it, but I mean, we can discuss all that, in the very near future.
Okay.
In the very near.
2026.
Keep it straight, 26.
No, because still like Barry needs to, we can find a date with Barry.
Yeah. just
We usually like to
text
plan
us
those
something.
at noon.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
That's it? Board comments? Anybody? Well, I'd like to say I appreciate everything y'all do, and y'all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and God bless each and every one of y'all.
Second all that.
Second, third.
Make a motion, we adjourn.